Hi Ryan, so your KR AS3 Anakin is all done. Master chassis, obviously you had it arranged. You arranged it through Paddle and Outpost for the install, which they subbed out to me. So I was very pleased to get the opportunity to install this one. As I say, master chassis, and because it's such a high-end hilt, such a high-end chassis, I've added a few extra sort of little bells and whistles just to make it, I think, as absolutely as good as it can possibly be. So let's have a proper look around it now. So I'm going to wear white gloves for this because the chrome is so beautiful, but it's a real fingerprint magnet. So I'm going to try not to get finger marks on it. But that is the as you can see, it's absolutely beautiful. KR, as we've come to expect, a beautiful job as always. We've got our, you can see in this light, we've got our stock connector in there. No, you can't. But anyway, you'll see it when it's lit up. These buttons are both actual dummies. This is actually the blade retention. So the good thing about this is you don't need any tools to fit the blade, which is nice, which for reasons I'll come back to in a minute is particularly useful on this hilt. So the actual switches are in there. So main is the front one and aux is the back one. And again, that slide is just a dummy. We've got our CoverTech clip there, the standard 6 grip strips. It's all there. So to get it going, like the Eco version of this chassis, it has a J-lock system, which is how it fits. So it's rotated clockwise, and then you can draw it out. So there is the core. So the brass parts, I haven't weathered them heavily. I did a little bit of chemical treatment, but nothing too serious, just to sort of take the edge off. As they come from the factory, they're just too new and shiny looking. They look a bit like a toy. So just dirtying them up like this with some brass black just takes the edge off, and it absolutely transforms the look, I think. So yeah, so I've done a little bit of a chemical treatment on all the brass parts. We've got our crystal chamber, which again I've varnished to make it look shinier and a bit more realistic. And I also tend to reprofile them a bit on the grinding wheel. As they're standard, they come with curves in them, and crystals, to my mind, aren't really about curves. They're all about straight edges. So yeah, so I grind the curves pretty much out of them. Got our plasma gate there, which will light up. There's our stock connector in the front. Removable battery, and then I might need to have a glove off for this bit. And then the circuit board you can access underneath there. So it's got a little protective screen on it. The metal doesn't actually touch the board when it's on, but metal and electronics being very close like that does make me nervous. And then we've got our little accent strip just in the back. Removable battery, as I say. So yeah, and the cap is held on just with magnets. So you just drop it into place and it just falls into place. So that's the core of it. Now to boot it up, you can get a nail in there, or I've also made this little dibber just to boot it.
This is where the fun begins.
It is indeed. So our animations start on the accents. Same on the back, a little sort of rolling animation at the back. And then, as I say, front is main, rear is aux. So if we light it up, our motor starts up. Plasma gate starts sort of arcing. We've got a fun little animation in the front, which is different to what the blade would be, obviously, just to sort of set it apart. And then you get a sort of strobing arcing effect in the back, just to sort of mix things up a little bit. Now, when you change blade colours, there's 12 blade colours set on each preset. When you change them, the crystal and the blinking on the plasma gate and all the colours at the front and on the back will all change. This will still arc white, but when in the off mode, it'll follow the blade colour. So if we press and hold to shut that off, we have our red heat cool down effect on the plasma gate, and the crystal goes back to pulsing. Now I've built in another little feature on this one. Let me just put my glove back on. I'm handling the hilt. When you put the core back into the hilt, basically what you have to do is that flat section there with the 2 circles, line that up with the switch box. Make sure you don't touch the pins on the metal. And then into there, and then anti-clockwise, and now that's locked in place, can't go anywhere. Now you can hear like that with the, you can hear the motor is still running inside, which some might deem slightly objectionable. So I've built in blade detect into this system, and as well as building it into the blade, I've built it into the blade plug. Now this serves two purposes. As standard, the blade plug sat too far back and it didn't look right. So not only does that space it out a little bit, but it also gives us the blade detect feature, which I can get my hands around this to do it. Now everything's sliding. Oops, so I'll do that first. So when we pop the blade plug in, so the hilt has now recognised that a blade or blade plug is in there. So now when we fire it up, that shuts down the motor, so you've got no motor noise. The accent LEDs inside all shut off. The blade plug has its own LED in it, so although the animation on the shock connector does change once the blade is in, you can't see it anyway. So the blade plug does have its own LEDs, which again they will do the same as what the blade will do. And the tail section, that stays lit because obviously you can still see it. As well as, let's put the cap back on. That sort of spins down gently after you shut the blade off. So let's get it fired up. It's alive. So yeah, once it's lit, absolutely beautiful. All your usual effects. We've got blaster blocks, lock-ups, clashes, obviously. Try to keep all the effects as screen accurate as possible. We've got character quotes, which is a fast double click of the main.
You're asking me to do something against the Jedi Code. Liar!
So there's loads of different Anakin quotes on there. The main font is K-Sith Chosen One, which comes with a load of different effects and everything. So yeah, it's so as well as that Chosen One, which is actually two fonts in one. There's a light side and a dark side. You've also got a whole load of other freebie fonts, which I supply with all my sabers, which is there. So and I've built in the new improved navigation system for these, which is available on another video. There's a link in the description. So yeah, so that is your KR Sabers AS3 with Master Chassis. Enjoy.